Salam and welcome. Thank you for joining me in another episode of the Quran in English, Basics for Beginners. We're starting now with chapter 102 of the Quran. Remember, there are 114 chapters in the Quran. Surah At-Takathur, the mutual rivalry, comprising 8 verses with but deep, powerful meanings that are relevant 1400 years ago as they are today, as they will be in the future. Summary by Sayyid Abul Ala Maududi Rahmatullahi Alayhi in his tafsir, the Tafhim al-Quran, the meaning of the Quran. Once again, this is one of the earliest chapters to be revealed in Mecca. Theme and subject matter. In this chapter, people have been warned of the evil consequences of worshipping the world and worshipping money and being addicted to the world, because of which they spend their lives in acquiring more and more and more money, more worldly wealth, material benefits and pleasures, and positions of power, till death, and in vying and boasting with each other and competing with each other and bragging about their acquisitions. This one pursuit has so occupied them that they are left with no time or opportunity for pursuing the higher things in life. After warning the people of its evil, and they have been told as if to say, "These blessings which you are amassing and collecting and enjoying thoughtlessly, they are not mere blessings, but are also a means of your trial and test on the day of judgment. For each one of these blessings and comforts you will surely be called to account in the hereafter." That brings us to the end of the summary, but because it's so short, I thought let's look at some of the footnotes as well. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. In the name of Allah, most compassionate, most merciful. Alhaakumut takathur. Right, that's how it starts. Takathur. You craze for more and more, and mutual rivalry for worldly gains has made you heedless, until you reach the graves. By no means, soon shall you know. Again, note it well, by no means, soon shall you know. Nay, had you known with certainty of knowledge the end of this life, you would never have acted in this way. You shall certainly see hell. Again, note it well, that you shall most certainly see it. Then on that day you shall certainly be called to account for the blessings and comforts of life. Your craze for more and more and mutual rivalry for worldly gains has made you heedless until you reach the graves. The words Alhaakum at-Takathur of the original are too vast in meaning to be fully explained in a passage. Al-Hakum is from laf, which literally means heedlessness, but in Arabic the word is used for every occupation which engrosses a person so completely that he or she becomes heedless of the more important things in life. Then the word Al-Hakum is made from this root. It will mean that man has become so obsessed with some occupation that he has lost sight of everything more important than it. He is preoccupied with it, is wholly lost in the pursuit of it, and this obsession has rendered him heedless of everything else in life. The thing that I can think of is like a philatelist, right? A person who collects stamps and becomes so obsessed in the collection of stamps from all over the world. But how will stamp collection help you in the Akhirah? I'm just using that as an example without pointing fingers, right? So takathur is from kathrat, which has 3 meanings. That man should strive to gain more and more of everything, that the people should compete with one another for gaining more and more, and that they should brag and boast of possessing greater abundance of things than others. Therefore, al-hakum at-takathur would mean Takathur is greed for more and more has so occupied you that its pursuit has made you heedless of every higher thing in life. In this sentence, it has not been indicated as to abundance of what is meant in takathur, heedlessness of what is implied in al-hakum, and who are the addressers of al-hakum. Thus, takathur does not remain restricted in meaning and application, but applies to all the gains and benefits, all the pleasures, all the comforts, the passion for acquiring more and more means of power and authority, and competing with others and bragging and boasting of their abundance. Likewise, the addressees of a hakum also do not remain limited, but the people of all ages, in the individual as well as collective capacity, become its addressees. It gives the meaning that the passion for acquiring more and more of the worldly wealth, competing with each other in the pursuit of that wealth, and bragging and boasting of the possession of that wealth has affected individuals as well as entire societies as well as nations, as we see in some first world nations. Likewise, since in Al-Hakum at-Takathur it has not been pointed out as to which people are engrossed in acquisitiveness and of what they are rendered heedless, it has also become very extensive in meaning. It means that the passion for piling up more and more and more and more has made the people heedless of everything else and more important than it. What have they become heedless of? They have become heedless of God. They have become heedless of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They have become heedless of the hereafter. They have become heedless of the moral bounds. They don't have a moral compass. What is right, what is wrong. They have become heedless about their moral responsibilities. They have become heedless of the rights of others and their duties towards others, including animals and plants and human beings and the environment. And they have become heedless of their own obligations to render and discharge those rights. They are only obsessed with raising the standard of living and do not bother even if the standard of humanity is falling. They want to acquire more and more of wealth, no matter how and by what means it is acquired. It reminds us of our own politicians, not only in South Africa but all over the world, self-enrichment even though other people are suffering, and people like those in the Epstein file and the mafias throughout the world. They desire to have more and more means of comfort and physical enjoyment and are overwhelmed by this greed. They have become wholly insensitive as to the ultimate end of this way of living. They are engaged in a race with others to acquire more and more of power, more and more of forces, more and more of weapons, and they have no idea that all this is a means of filling God's earth with tyranny, evil, bloodshed, mischief, and wickedness, and of ultimately of destroying humanity itself. In short, takathur has many forms, which have engrossed individuals as well as societies as well as nations so completely that they have become heedless of everything beyond this world, its benefits and its pleasures. Stay well, look after yourself. Alhamdulillah.